Well, excuse me. Hello and welcome, everybody. Minnesota Vikings football back at it again. Online and on the air here on the SSN. And this game has been circled on Randy's calendar for a long time, ever since the schedules were released. I've had this game circled because Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the newest jewel of the NFL, we've had our year last year, and now it's time for the Falcons to have their year. Excuse me. Must have been a bad trouble. They brought us on a tour, the players and the coaches here, and the media staff, of course. Randy Replay got all the credentials that you would expect pregame, and took us through the locker rooms. And the visiting team locker rooms aren't really that bad. I know some teams use it as a strategy to not put really a lot of things in the visitors' locker room to make you feel like, oh, you got this big stadium and they don't care about us. But they did a pretty good job here. And the press box, oh my heavens. I am stationed perfectly on the east side goal line. East side of the stadium, right above sections 100 down on the bottom. So I am literally sitting right on top of the bottom section on the east side goal line. So on the Falcons side of the bench, of course, that is where all the press boxes and all the coaches sit to give a pretty good view of the field. And obviously they're right on the 50, but they put all of us radio broadcasters over here on the east side goal line. So very beautiful stadium. You're going to see it here in a little bit. Very big, and that family pricing, something to give a warning to the NFL. Hey, better change these prices now. The fans are happy here. And, of course, they opened the concessions here early. I got some Chick-fil-A earlier, the Spicy Sandwich Supreme Meal, or Deluxe, however they want to say it here. And that is sitting in Randy's belly. But on the football side, of course, these Mercedes-Benz Stadium taking up most of the broadcast so far. 6-5 Vikings, 6-5 Falcons. I know this defense is very good. These linebackers are amazing, and it's going to test the Minnesota Vikings offense, who you've seen a shift. In the early goings of the season, they have been run first, pass second, and now they are slowly turning into a pass-happy team with 20 more pass plays than run plays run last week during the Thanksgiving Day Turkey Bowl, as it is well known here around Detroit. We pick up the loss, move to 6-5. Very quickly, before we get into anything kickoff related, we are going to get into the injury reports, I think, maybe. There we go, injury report. Little technical difficulties here. Luke Slazewski still battling that dislocated elbow. He will be available next week or the week after, whatever the team decides to do. And for these Atlanta Falcons, they're a little bit banged up. Tevin Coleman, their second part of their two-headed run offense, dislocated ankle. He's out for 3 more weeks. And Andre Roberts, the wide receiver, out of... It doesn't say the college information, but the wide receiver, Achilles tear, he's out for the rest of the season. So it always hurts Randy to read stuff about that. So we are 2 games now into this 3-game road trip. We take on the Panthers next week, and the Packers tied with us. But since we lost to them at US Bank Stadium, we move into second place because of the division wins. The Bears and the Lions are 4-7. We're going to see who the Packers play. Of course, that will be a big thing to take a look at down at the bottom of the screen throughout this broadcast. Be sure to look at that. I'm sure that will be very interesting. They take the Buccaneers at home, so a very winnable game for them. And then they're 2 on the road against the Browns and Panthers. And then we face them week 16. Slated to be a Saturday night game, possibly frigid weather and possibly snow. It's always good when you get a cold weather team playing against a stadium team. You get the advantage. Hopefully the Vikings can split the series. Border battle number 2, week 16, just about 4 weeks away. Then we got the Lions going up against the Packers at home. That might be a winnable game. They are 4-7, but a lot can change here in these last 5 weeks here in the season. So we're going to get you out to kickoff. The fans are filling in, and the teams are taking practice now. This has been Randy Replay. I will see you at halftime Let's get a win. Vikings go to 7-5. Hopefully take first place in the division. This is a big game for this defense as well. Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. And of course, with Tevin Coleman out, they are going to be using Freeman a lot. And we have not fared well against the run as of late the last 3 weeks, giving up over 100 yards to each and every rusher we have faced. I'll see you at halftime.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. We should have a good one on tap here today. It's the Falcons coming in at 6-5, going up against the Vikings, who come in at 6-5. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, we appreciate it, Larry. It's our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. We thought the old place was loud. Somehow this place got even louder a short time ago as the Falcons were introduced to this sellout crowd. We're set to go as the Falcons get ready to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. And Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come in playing reasonably well. Losers the last time out, but winners of 4 of 5 before that. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick of the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And there they bring pressure from the inside, and they get home.
Yeah, hard to block everyone, isn't it? And on this play, someone did not get blocked. He's the one who got home.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. An 8-yard gain, so that gets him halfway there. Now they're left with a 3rd and 8 more.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Now it's Ryan. Finding Gabriel complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Ryan finding Gabriel for the Falcon first down. Great change up there on the route and got that inside release, made it a successful pitch and catch.
Well, the first thing you want to do is have him thinking that you're going outside, make a move in that direction. Then you really don't run the route against the whole body of the defender. You run against a half of him, and the inside half, and he took it right across his face, got inside, and won that route in a big way.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I'd say the staff that's up in the booth watching the game, they may want to file that one away. See how fast the free safety closed to make that play? Might want to check into a throw the next time.
On 2nd down, Ryan. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. 3rd down here. It's Ryan. Looking deep for Gabriel. And that's caught inside the 35. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A big 30-yard play on third. Great patience in the pocket. Of course, it's easy to be patient when the protection's good, and it was.
Yeah, you got to pat those guys on the helmet and say thanks because they gave him plenty of time to stay back there, survey the field, go through the reads that he wanted to, and deliver the ball accurately. That was really well executed.
12 more yards there and another first down. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only they're controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. And the 8th play on this drive coming up. On second down, Freeman. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down. A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
And when you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and all.
And it'll be intercepted. Snags it for the pick. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You gonna let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And now out comes Minnesota. Forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Nice job by the defensive front there to hold them to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Collins. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, they get there.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. You laughed with everyone else. You didn't try to get in my corner.
No. Someone had just told me a joke on the other side.
Right,
I missed that. Totally missed it.
Going for the deep ball. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability. Back to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is caught at the 20. And he takes it down deep into Atlanta territory. A gain of 39 that time. He'll look to throw. And that is out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one. Grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. He'll look to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Back to throw now on first down. Flushed out right. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide.
Right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. 11 yards for number 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Here we go. Green, 39.
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he's brought down.
I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at him.
And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have made this now a one-score game.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness. You've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
Showing blitz. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And some room to roam now. Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, his 11th touchdown of the year. They'll look to throw. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line.
Target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Going for it all. And this is going to be intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
A cool 300 in that game.
On the dot in week 4, 300 yards. Oh, Matt Ryan had a pretty good game, too, through for him. And Freeman lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he'll take this back down inside the 20.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Larry Ridley will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. On play action, they'll throw. Flush to his right. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
It'll definitely be a disappointment to come out of this starting position with just 3 points. They need to try to dial something up now, 3rd and 10. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating what...
And they'll get set here looking for the 2-point conversion.
Watch tight, watch tight. Tight end right, tight end right. Set, blue landed, hot, blue landed.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he whips that one incomplete there. Tough there.
He's already handed me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play, as we'll get a timeout. As the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
And hello and welcome back to the first live replay of the game. The Atlanta Falcons called the timeout, so that negated the replay of Thomas Cross's 2nd sack of Matt Ryan today. So we're going to take a live look here, and we're going to play make Thomas Cross. So he's going to get in. No chance against this tackle here. So he's going to wrap up around the tackle Matthews. He's going to push Matthews back into Ryan. He's going to wrap up Ryan on the shoulder and bring him down. The strength of Thomas Cross being showed there. And he does a familiar celebration here. Vikings fans, you know who I'm talking about. Of course, the retired now Jared Allen. So Minnesota Vikings defense is coming up big here so far. 3rd and 16 coming up, 58 seconds left to go in the half. I will see you in about a minute of game time play.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Hey, let's go.
3rd and long, it's Ryan. And it's complete, Hooper. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on another of those there. Single receiver. Ready, back 25.
They'll throw on 1st down with Ryan. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. And finding the tight end, Hooper. Touchdown, Falcons. Austin Hooper, as the first half is winding down. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Now here's a timeout, as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Collins. And he will be brought down as time is now run out off of action.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Falcons are happy to be in front right now and just want to play 2 more solid quarters. The Vikings just want to come out after the half and claw their way back into the game. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half.
And hello and welcome to the halftime break. This is Randy Replay, a very different game here for the Minnesota Vikings offense as of late, slumping Smeagol. Throwing another interception right before the half to Jalen Collins. We're going to get you into the halftime stats, just the leaders, and then we will get you back out to a second half action. But what do you do? That's now 2 games where he has multiple interceptions in a row. This one, he doesn't even have a touchdown. Do you put in Kenny Erickson or Steven Campagna and see what they do? They haven't really shown you much as far as touchdown to interception ratio. But 3 first-half interceptions for Smeagol here. 43.4 QB rating. He is 11 for 19. That is 57% completion percentage for those of you that didn't know how to do math or simply didn't look over here. 149, a season low to mark the first half. No touchdowns, like I said, and, of course, those 3 interceptions, longest pass of 39. Rushing it has been Sam Gable taking over for the injured Justin Sandman. 8 carries for 62 yards. Derek Fahey has 7 for 21 and a touchdown. And Travis Parker with a rough trucking touchdown, 5 for 27. Lots of tough yardage here for the Minnesota Vikings. 2 broken tackles for Sam Gable as well. 1 for Derek Fahey, 1 for Smeagol. Oh, my goodness. Receiving it is Darian Wilson. 3 catches for 63 yards, of course, being helped by that big 39-yard reception down the left side of the field. Lou Wang, 2 for 25. Luis Gonzalez, 2 for 11, but he also has 2 drops, as you see here on the far right. Leads the team in receptions, and so far, if he would have caught that, he would have been up 4 and been in the first. But he's always near the top 3 in receptions for the Minnesota Vikings. Nobody cares about blocking. We're going to go to defense and look at total tackles, and we have a 3-way tie. Jerry Myers, Robert Nichols, Thaddeus Rosu, so the secondary getting 3 tackles each. Paul Fritchie, Thomas Cross, Aaron Nelson, Rashid Spinks, Danny Pickering, and Travis Lee with 2. Tackles for loss, we had a bunch. It was Josh Fitzer, Tevin Fair, Danny Pickering, Jerry Myers, and Thaddeus Rosu. Sacks, we have added 4 first-half sacks. 2 by Thomas Cross, 1 by Ryan Bilo, and 1 by Dan Nolte. I almost said Ryan Nolte. And then an interception in the end zone on the first or second offensive drive for the Atlanta Falcons, picked off by Aaron Nelson, of course. 1 pass deflection by Luis Gonzalez. I'm not sure how that works, but okay. Forced fumble, Josh Fitzer recovered by Scott Rethwell, returned for 5 yards. No safeties, no block kicks, no defensive touchdowns for your Minnesota Vikings today. And we know that Brandon Baker is 1 for 1 with 3. 1 for 1. 3 total field goals today, including extra points. We're going to get you back to back to action here. This is not the end of the game, even though you kind of hope it was. But the Vikings get the ball back. As of right now, Smeagol will be the quarterback going forward into the second half. But as we've noticed from Mike Zimmer, he's a very tough coach, so look for that to change if Smeagol doesn't play up to the Zimmer standard. No touchdowns for through the first half. This has been Randy Replay. I will see you after the game where I can hopefully call a Minnesota Vikings win. Still in this thing, just down by, 2 scores, maybe 3, depending if you get 2 touchdowns, then you go up by 2. But this defense has to show up in the offense. Just need to keep doing what you're doing, minus the mistakes. The run game is working, as we've said. The defense is letting them through. See if we can get a 100-yard rusher. This has been Randy Replay. I will see you after the game.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's brought down. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. It's a big sack. They're going to look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion. No adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Looking deep for Julio. And that's caught inside the 35. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones with touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year. The game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to get.
Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. They go play action here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he loses the football a second time. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. On third down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds up near midfield at the 49. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. And it'll be 2nd and 11. Now a handoff here to his running back. And a loose football. I'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. They don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. They'll set up a throw. The quick slant caught. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. They're going to go for it now, 4th and 2. Remember, they can still get the first down at the 1-yard line, though.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90! Let's go, let's go!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Vic Beasley.
There on the sidelines, was it the right call? Was it against the right defense? Should they have even gone for it?
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one. Fit your team right now.
A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
So they're challenging the spot. If you're a coach, you hesitate to throw the flag anytime it's a spot discernment.
You certainly do, because you feel like that's not one you're likely to win, and you may need that challenge flag for later in the game.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Open it up, leading now by a couple of touchdowns. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. And an alley to run. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 14 yards that time for number 14. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They'll drop to throw. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Collins. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. Defense on the NFL scoreboard. Fourth quarter now at Soldier Field. And we just seen a late lead change there. 49ers in front. Pierre Garçon. He's gone over 100 yards now and has a touchdown catch to his credit as well. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball, and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Atlanta, the win moves them a couple games over 500 now at 7-5. And they'll get another home date next week as the Saints will come to town. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they fall to 6-6 now on the campaign. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. It's a win for the Falcons here as we say so long from Atlanta.
And with that so long from the broadcast team, we welcome you back up here into the spacious booth at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Minnesota Vikings fall to the Falcons in their brand new stadium here, 26-48, or 48-26 if you're a fan of doing the higher score first. 4 touchdowns and 1 interception for Matt Ryan, but we're going to take a look at the Vikings players. We use all 3 quarterbacks, and we did throw a touchdown today, Kenny Erickson, in the Super Sim. So, mercy rule invoked again. At one point, it was 48-19, and this Minnesota Vikings team is very different. I mean, we had a good game on the ground. Smeagol bouncing back 3 games ago. Mike Zimmer said if he doesn't have a good game, he's going to bench him for a backup. And he goes out and he tosses 3 or 4 touchdowns and 500 yards. So a career day. And then the last couple games, he's looked very different. We're going to get into these quarterbacks, and then we will get you ready for everything next week against the Panthers and get you back to the main screen. So the Minnesota Vikings are as follows. Kenny Erickson, QB rating is 72.0. He only threw 10 balls. 5 for 10. 50% completion percentage, and he has the highest QB rating on the team. For those of you that didn't know how to do math or didn't live over here, 83 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. Smeagol, 50.6 QB rating. He was 18 for 28. That is 64% completion percentage. 232 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He now has double digits in all 3. I think that's 22 touchdowns or something, and pretty close to 20 now at 13 interceptions, I want to say. We'll get you all ready for that when we get back to the main screen. Stephen Campagna came in for a series. 9.7 QB rating, 1 for 3, 14 yards, and an interception. But we look ahead to the running attack, which was very, very good here in this game, and still didn't pick up the win. Sam Gable taking over for the injured Justin Sandman Vanderschaft. 18 carries, 112 yards, 2 broken tackles, and the longest run of 12 yards. Still no runner has toppled 20-plus yards in this game, but still got good yardage. Derek Fahey, 8 carries, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Travis Parker, 7 carries, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Smeagol, 3 for 21. Daniel Hendricks, 3 for 17. He did leave with an injury. He was injured twice in this game. The first time he was able to come back, and then he got injured again. He was held out the rest of the game, so hopefully it's not too serious. Matthew Peterson, 1 for 3, and then the big story, the leading rusher for the Minnesota Vikings, Justin Sandman Vanderschaft. Carried the ball once for 3 yards and got injured, left the game early. So early reports are that he just missed today's game and he'll be ready to go next week, but we will check that out once we get back to the main screen. Receiving, it was Darian Wilson again, 6 for 115, no touchdowns, and he had a drop. Lou Wang, 5 for 69. Anthony Bisbee, 2 for 28. 2 for 11 for Josh Gable, and a touchdown. Travis Lee, 2 catches, 30 yards. Jesse Peterson, 2 for 36. Luis Gonzalez, 2 for 11, 2 drops. Cameron Quick, 1 for 2. Travis Parker, 1 for 3. Derek Fahey, 1 for 24. Nobody cares about blocking. We're going to go to defense. Look at total tackles. It's Rashid Spinks leading the team, the Minnesota Vikings middle linebacker. Tevin Fair had 6. Rashid had 7. Tevin Fair had 6. Aaron Nelson had 5. Hey, look, Thaddeus Rozu also had 5. Zachary Anderson, Danny Pickering, Jerry Myers, Matthew Ornsdorf with 4, as we try and fix that there. Robert Nichols with 3. Dan Nolte with 3. Poi Tralamalu with 2. Richard Salty, Cameron Quick, Josh Fitzer, Jacob Pickering, Paul Fritchie, Thomas Cross, and Travis Lee also had 2. Josiah Russell, Drew Ward, Lane Johnson, Ryan Bulow, Brandon Baker, each with 1 tackle. Tackles for loss, we had a bunch. Josh Fitzer, Dan Nolte, Tevin Fair, Danny Pickering, Jerry Myers, and Thaddeus Rozu each with a tackle for loss. Today, Thomas Cross with 2 sacks. Josiah Russell, Ryan Bulow, Dan Nolte each with 1. Tevin Fair, your sack leader for the Minnesota Vikings, now I think has 10 on the season with another one in this game. Rashid Spinks with 1 as well, untouched. Aaron Nelson had a interception in the end zone early. The only interception for the day. Pass deflections by Luis Gonzalez and Thaddeus Rozu going down the stretch. 3 forced fumbles in the game. Zachary Anderson, Josh Fitzer, Rashid Spinks, and recovered only 1 of them. Scott Rethwell did. No block kicks, no safeties, no defensive touchdowns for your Minnesota Vikings today. Brandon Baker having another good day. He was 2 for 2. That is 100%. Longest of 50 and 2 for 2 on extra points. Punting, Taylor Polina, Busy Beaver had 3 punts, 151 yards, netting 114, none of them inside the 20. 1 of them went for a touchback. Robert Nichols, 2 for 51, longest of 28, and Jesse Peterson, 4 for 95, longest of 28. And punt returns, just the blocking has been just terrible for the Minnesota Vikings punt return team. Only allowing Robert Nichols 2 punt returns for 7 yards, longest of 6. We're going to get you back to the main screen where we will preview next week's game against the Panthers and get you ready for everything Minnesota Vikings football. Once again, your Vikings fall to the Falcons in their brand new stadium, 48-26. This has been Randy Replay. I'll see you in just a moment. And hello and welcome back to the main screen. Your Minnesota Vikings now 6-6 on the season. We'll travel to North Carolina and Bank of America Stadium. All rights reserved. 7-5 Panthers are the next game here. Randy Replay still boggling. Got my thoughts all in a bottle. Returning from injury, Luke Slazewski is available to play again, so we will indeed get him back into the lineup during the week. And yeah, very, very different games coming up here. Smeagol has regressed to now a 79 after throwing 3 interceptions in that game. He was an 81 going into it. Lost a whole 2 points, so very, very good. The Minnesota Vikings now tied with the Green Bay Packers, still atop the NFC North, so they did lose another one. 6-6, and the Bears and Lions pick up wins now just 1 game behind, so it's still anybody's division here with 4 games left on the schedule. Panthers, Bengals, Packers. And we now have 2 home games coming up, Bengals week 15 and the Bears week 17. And then we face 2 away games this week against the Panthers and week 16 against the Packers. So this week 16 could be the first live broadcast of the year, as week 16 draws ever closer to the border battle number 2 in the series against the Green Bay Packers. We're going to take a look at the injury report, and hopefully we're not down to 2 running backs on this roster. We're going to say a quick mantra, and then we will get you ready for the injury report. Oh, no injuries, please. Let them be okay. Okay. The mantra works, as we do not have an injured running back, despite 2 running backs leaving the game there. And we take a look at the Panthers injury report. They have Starla Tulele, fractured foot, out for 4, and they're starting running back Jonathan Stewart, out 2 weeks with that pulled groin. This has been Randy Replay. I'll see you in the next one.